Okay, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call our regular board meeting to order, and I would like to invite Trustee McCowie to do the acknowledgement, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We acknowledge that we are on land and surrounded by water, originally inhabited by Indigenous peoples who have traveled this area since time immemorial. This territory is within the lands honored by the Wampum Treaties, agreements between the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Lenni Lenape, and allied nations to peacefully share and care for the resources around the Great Lakes. Specifically, we would like to acknowledge the presence of the Huron-Wendat peoples and the Three Fires Confederacy, Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi. We are dedicated to honoring Indigenous history and culture while remaining committed to moving forward respectfully with all First Nations, Inuit, and Métis.
Thank you very much. We have all our trustees present tonight, including our two student trustees. We have no special orders of the day. A motion to approve the agenda. Trustee
Julia's late.
Trustee Burgess is on her way. Sorry, I forgot. She did contact someone to say she was on her way. So we will have all trustees here. Trustee Lovell, did you have something for the... no, it was minutes, sorry. Approval of the agenda. Trustee McCowie, Trustee Cook, all those in support? Thank you. Our student trustee reports, so take it away.
Good evening, trustees, Director Houston, senior administration, and members of the public. April was certainly a busy and exciting month, and we're working towards some exciting things. Starting with our Student Senate meeting, we hosted it at Walkerville Collegiate Institute this month. Our senators received a very informative board budget consultation session from Mr. Sean Mayu, Manager of Finance, where we learned about the process and timeline of determining the budget, what factors are considered, and where funding comes from. We want to thank him for opening up a Q&A period after the presentation and discussing how students can advocate for funding and changes to the budget. Also at our Senate meeting, we heard from Ali Ibrahim and Abel Biru from the Black Student Advisory Committee. They highlighted the importance of BSAC connecting with other school board groups to properly represent all students. Here are a few words from BSAC Student Representative Ali Ibrahim. The Black Student Advisory Committee, or BSAC, is a student-led group that focuses on creating space for Black students to be heard, represented, and supported through real initiatives. For example, the Black Joy and Black Excellence Symposium, which celebrates culture and achievement, and the Pass the Mic initiative, where students can share their voices and experiences. We also run focus groups with community members and bring student concerns forward so change can actually happen. This is why BSAC is important. It makes sure student voices are not just heard but acted on, and it helps make our school board a more inclusive place for all students. Thank you, Ala, for those words. I led a workshop on promotions and marketing for student council events and programs, where I had senators compare what makes a good campaign versus a less effective campaign. The presentation was followed by an activity where they were able to brainstorm marketing schemes for school events and present their ideas to the group. The Senator of the Month was Lauren Smith, the Prime Minister at Essex District High School. Lauren has been involved in Student Senate for 3 years now and is consistently dedicated and involved in subcommittees and meeting activities. She moderated the student trustee elections for the county in February. We appreciate Lauren for all she does for Senate. Tonight, though we couldn't attend the entire workshop, we are collaborating with Dr. Francis Cachon at the University of Windsor to host a workshop for Sexual Violence Prevention Month. The workshop was open to all secondary students and is intended to promote safe relationships and consent and give students an opportunity to promote Sexual Violence Prevention Month at their schools in May. More exciting news, we've just opened our submission form for the GECDSB Student Senate Art Contest. It's open to all students in grades 7 to 12, and we're accepting art until May 15th. The details will be shared on the board's social media platforms, and we're excited to be providing a space for student artists to show their work. We both truly enjoyed all the work that was done this month, and we're eager to head into May. Thank you.
Thank you. Student of the Month.
Student of the Month time, everyone. Very exciting. Sophia Lynn is the GECDSB Student of the Month for Environmental Stewardship, thanks to her strong commitment to helping the environment. As president of the Massey Green Club, she leads initiatives that promote sustainability and environmental awareness in the school. She's been involved since grade 10, helping plan events and grow the club over the years. Sophia has also worked with the United Nations Association of Canada Eco Clubs to organize events like Build for Birds and Upcycling Winter Workshop, teaching younger students about creative and sustainable practices. She also received the Innovation Award with her team at the UNAC Toronto Conference outside of school. She takes part in weekly community cleanups and helps organize projects like the WWF fundraiser, the Street Help Clothing Drive, and other awareness campaigns around the conservation and upcycling. Through all of this, she works with others to get more students involved and is passionate about making her school and community more sustainable. Congratulations, Sophia.
Congratulations. Could you come forward, please? Yes. Come. Yeah, me too. Okay, okay, okay. Congratulations from all the trustees. You don't have to stay for the meeting if you you can if you want to. Okay, thank you. Good night. Okay, we have nothing under H or I. J, we're at approval of the minutes. I need a motion. Trustee Apong and Trustee Nelson. Anything on the minutes? Trustee Lovell? Could you put your mic on? I can't hear you. Sorry.
Forgot.
Okay.
Okay, I just wanted to note that there is a typo for the SEAC report.
Page.
Oh dear, what is it? 34?
No. The minutes are page 1 to 6. The minutes.
Oh, okay, so do you,
You can just tell me later and I'll pass it along
Do
to
you
Melissa.
have something on these minutes?
in the minutes?
Pardon?
In the minute, SEAC minutes, yes.
Just pass it
Page
along
1
me
to
after.
6. Where
Page 1.
Where is the typo? This is the minutes of the board meeting,
No, nothing
page 1 to 6.
We're doing it.
nothing on that. She is talking about the addendum. She's
Talking
talking about the addendum.
about the SEAC minutes.
The SEAC
And
meeting,
I said she can
minutes.
pass
Okay,
it
these,
along to me after the
our
meeting.
motion is about the board meeting minutes, so,
Okay, yep, I'm sorry,
oh,
I
okay.
apologize.
No, it's okay. I just wasn't sure what we were doing. Okay, thank you. Okay, all those in support of the minutes? Any opposed? That's carried. Thank you very much. For the chair's report, I could have reported on a few items, but instead they're going to come to you through the director's report and the OPSPA report. So they have the honors of reporting tonight. So with that, L1 is the multi-year strategic plan update. And because I wasn't available to attend the workshop, so I just wanted to make a few remarks about our plan and our process. I think it's fortunate that we were able to engage the services of the Critical Thinking Consortium to take us through a focused and intentional approach to developing the plan. The consortium dedicates their work to the education sector across Ontario as well as Canada to provide resources, expertise, and facilitated learning opportunities. They have specifically participated in guiding the development of a multi-year strategic plan for many school boards to ensure strategic plans are relevant and targeted for student success. Usha James, whom trustees met last month at the workshop, is very familiar with our board through her work with our senior team, principals and vice principals, as well as teacher consultants, particularly on school improvement planning, which is directly related to strategic planning. So tonight we are receiving an update on where we are in the multi-year strategic plan process, what has been completed, what is underway, and the next steps in the process. So with that, I'll ask trustees if there are any questions. Trustee Chin?
Oh, thank you, Madam Chair. And regarding the multi-year strategic plan, I do have a lot of concerns regarding the process and also the focused group that we target. And obviously, we canceled the large survey for this whole school board, and now we focused on those focus group, especially for DEI groups. And I understand the reason, but I have concerns because this will cause a lot of bias on the research, and the bias is a technical words. Don't send complaint towards me because this word. Yeah, bias is a systematic mistake in the planning, execution, or analysis of a study.
Trustee Chin, I don't know if you raised your questions at the workshop where you should have discussed your concerns, but if you could be specific, give me your question and the page that you're referring to in the report.
Oh, yeah.
It's like this has already been approved. It's not up for debate. It's not up for challenge about whether you agree or don't agree with the process. This is what has been approved. You had the workshop to discuss the process, and now we're already in the process.
I'm sorry.
So please take us to your direct question on this report. It has to be from the report. That's all that's on the agenda.
It's obviously from the report. Please have patience on me.
Tell me your page number and your question.
The page number is on page 7, the rationale for multi-year strategic plan. And we, on the first item, maintain a clear focus on students who were not yet being served effectively. And on the page 9, the shared commitments and selection criteria, especially page 9, selection criteria, it clearly mentioned that we're only going to listen to the focused group that we think that is important. So I'm just trying to say that there is biases, and the selection bias is one of the important bias in the design. And one reason the selection bias is occurs when
your question, or I'm going
to
move on.
I'm going to ask question after I explain this, because I was sent formal complaint because I said bias during the last
Chin,
research.
The process is already in place. We're already going through the process.
No, excuse me.
It's a board process. If you want to raise a question.
Yeah, I'm going to raise a question. Give me time. My language issue, I appreciate.
It's not a language issue.
Let me finish. I think it's good for the board. It's nothing wrong to give me 1 minute, okay? Selection bias occurs when the method of selecting participants or groups for a study produces an outcome that is not representative of the total population. For instance, if the sample group is not randomized or certain groups are excluded. And in our research, and a large amount of parents and students in the community are excluded. So I think this approach has serious selection bias. And also, it has other kind of biases. For one reason is subconscious bias, where researchers may unknowingly...
You have incorrect information. The student climate survey was sent out to all parents, all students,
I saw
all
that.
Staff. It closed today. So there is.
Excuse
there
me.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I answered the survey. I know what's the items. It only asked if you feel safe. It has nothing else about how you perceive the overall performance of the board. It's just asking if you got bullied or not. Only this kind of questions. So that climate
I'm gonna ask
survey
you
is
again.
not enough for strategy
So
plan.
what is your question?
My question is that since the subconscious bias is where the researchers may unknowingly favor certain outcomes or interpret data in a way that aligns with their preconceived beliefs. So I assume that our board conceives the beliefs that we should only focus on those, focus groups and excluded all others. And my question is that, since the assumption of what we did is that we did a good job in overall performance of the board, are we doing a overall performance, a good job of the board? I mean, we exclude the majority of the students and just focused on that, and we suppose that we know what's the reason, and we know why we have decreasing enrollment and the students move to other board. We suppose we know everything, and we make this kind of research investigation only on focus group, and don't listening to other parents' complaints. I wonder if this assumption is correct. Are we really good? Do we really know what's the reason the students leave our board? And
Thank you, Trustee Chin. We're going to stop there because I know that those concerns you have raised many times in different venues, and we've discussed it.
But my questions was not answered, and it was always suppressed.
And there's not an answer for you.
You're not going to listen to true questions.
No, I'm moving.
Yeah,
on
my
to
question
other
is
trustees.
regarding the content.
No, I'm moving on to other trustees who might have
And,
valid questions about the report.
Yeah, please answer my question. Please
I have
answer
no
my
answer.
question. Do we really know what's the reason of our board's performance?
I don't.
Are we doing the overall good, good at administration? And we don't have anything to improve, right? Other than those focus group, right? We spend over 1 million on
Trustee Chin,
DI.
stop being disrespectful to the work of this board. You do it repeatedly. And I'm going to say right now, I'm not going to allow it anymore. We've listened to it for years, where you come into a public meeting, you don't have the correct information, your interpretation of different reports don't align with the rest of the trustees, and then you turn it into something disrespectful towards the work of the trustees and the administration. So we're moving on. You're done. We're moving on. If any other trustee has a question about the report. Trustee McCowie.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I guess I'll start by saying that I think our administration and our trustees have been doing an amazing job these past couple of years, and I know they'll continue to do an amazing job. I'm excited to see the strategic plan come to fruition, and I am grateful for the critical thinking consortiums for putting this together and providing some clarity on what the process looks like. I do just have a question in terms of timeline. Page 12 notes, the report provides transparency on how the work is progressing while reserving findings and strategic direction for future communications. My understanding is that ideally, I think we'd want to approve the plan by the June board meeting. So are we expecting the findings at our May meeting, and then gives us about a month of time to kind of discuss based on that data before something comes forward for formal approval?
Through you, Madam Chair, yes.
Thank you, Director. And then the other question I had was more of a comment, but I know I brought this up at Finance and Facility Services Committee with in terms of the budget consultation process. But page 10 notes the student engagement under the process. I'm just wondering if we could also make room for student senate as well, if Senate has time for that. If that's okay.
Through you, Madam Chair, yes.
Thank you.
Any other trustee questions? Or move on? Okay. The director's report, please.
Good evening, everybody. So we've reached the end of April. Unbelievable. Marking 65 days remaining in the 2025-26 school year. Makes me a little bit nervous with only 65 days left. I'm pleased to present my 7th Inside Education Report to the board, highlighting the many exciting initiatives and achievements from the past month, as well as some of the things that we're looking forward to. As we enter the busy and rewarding time of the year, I encourage all members of our school community to remain engaged in learning, continue to demonstrate kindness and respect towards one another, and continue to have fun every day. Leamington students visit the Legislative Assembly of Ontario. So on April 1st, no, it wasn't an April Fool's, our grade 10 students from Leamington District Secondary School had the exciting opportunity to visit the Legislative Assembly of Ontario. During their visits, students learned about the history of the legislative building, as well as the impact that the current and former members of Parliament have had on the province of Ontario. Students attended question period, where they witnessed members debating on important issues, and the visit was concluded by meeting with Trevor Jones, MPP for Chatham, Kent, and Leamington, the Minister of Agriculture, Food, and Agribusiness, and a Leamington District Secondary School graduate. How fitting that they would be able to go and see him there. I think, Superintendent Castellano, correct me if I'm wrong, they were the group that was supposed to go to Italy during March break of students and didn't end up getting to go because of the flights. That group of students.
That I'm not sure if it's the same group of students.
Part of them were supposed to be because of a whole bunch of things that were happening, where their plane was going to be landing and trying to get to Italy. Unfortunately, their trip couldn't go, so some of the students got the opportunity. I'm not sure if that's a great trade-off or not, but that's what they got. Kennedy captures the WEXA, SWASA, and OFSA basketball championship. Congratulations to the Kennedy Clippers boys basketball team on an incredible season. The Clippers captured all of WEXA, SWASA, and OFSA, and they finished with an outstanding 23-2 record. They dominated at OFSA, winning every game by 10 plus points, and we're incredibly proud of the team and the way that they have represented the Greater Essex County District School Board throughout the season. Student Trustee Foster was featured in the Essex Free Press. Look at his face. No, we didn't tell you you were going to be. Student Trustee Foster was recently featured in the Essex Free Press following his re-election for the 26-27 school year. The article highlights Cole's strong commitment to his role, including his focus on supporting students through the grade 8 to grade 9 transition and promoting student mental health. Congratulations to Cole on this well-deserved recognition within his own community. I know that Student Trustee Cole is already looking for some projects for next year if people have ideas. Madagascar, a musical adventure junior at Sandwich West Public School. The senior team had the pleasure of attending another outstanding musical performance at Sandwich West Public School, produced and directed by retired teacher Lisa Campbell. The annual production continues to be a highlight of the school year. Congratulations to all of the students and the staff that were involved in bringing the performance to life. And thank you for once again sharing all of their talents with us. And a special thank you, you can see in the middle there, oops, not now, Principal Hoogley, who had a role in the play and stood with us in our photo. The Great Big Crunch. On March 26th, McWilliam Public School hosted the Ontario Student Nutrition Program annual Great Big Crunch in partnership with members of the Windsor Express basketball team. This engaging event provided an opportunity to promote healthy eating habits and raise awareness about the importance of student nutrition, while also recognizing the ongoing contributions of OSNP and its partners. Students participated in a team-led warm-up session and had the opportunity to engage with the Windsor Express players through a question and answer period, and the event concluded with participants sharing in a collective crunch reinforcing key messages about healthy food choices in a fun and a memorable way. The robotics team from across our system have been featured prominently in the news over the past month. Students from across Ontario gathered at the University of Windsor to compete in the 11th annual Windsor-Essex Great Lakes First Robotics Competition. Bell River District High School student Jackson Vickard was highlighted in news coverage, sharing how participation in robotics helps students build teamwork, leadership, and valuable skills that can support a future pathway. Looking ahead, the Hetherington RoboHawks will travel to Toronto on May 4th to compete in the Skills Ontario competition, and this year marks a new challenge for the team as they will be manufacturing the robot on site for the first time. Since forming in 2018, the RoboHawks have experienced tremendous success in the competition, and this event will be another exciting opportunity to showcase their talent and innovation. And congratulations to all of our robotics teams on their recent success, and best of luck to the RoboHawks as they prepare to compete in May. On April 14th, 2026, 21 Indigenous secondary students participated in an experiential learning event focused on skilled trades. Students engaged in hands-on activities in areas such as construction, automotive, sewing, and design tech. The event aimed to increase awareness of opportunities in skilled trades and the Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program while promoting apprenticeship pathways as a viable post-secondary option, and students received the feedback was overwhelmingly positive, highlighting the value of these experiences in supporting engagement and future career exploration. Grade 4, 5, and 6 students from Marlborough and FW Bagley, who are also involved in the String Project, gathered to rehearse for the upcoming Kiwanis Music Festival, and the group will take part in their competitive class tomorrow, Wednesday, April 22nd, at the Riverside United Church, and we wish them all the best on this exciting step in their musical journey. Talbot Trail Public School recently hosted the first annual Antonino's Chess Challenge, an initiative led and organized by a grade 2 teacher, Lou DiDonato, who's with support from the grade 8 student volunteers. The tournament welcomed 30 students from Bellwood Public School and featured competition from grade 2 to 8. The Bellwood students demonstrated strong skills, winning 4 of 7 grade-level championships and earning the Antonino's Cup. Antonino's generously donated 14 large pizzas, the Antonino's Cup trophy, embroidered championship hoodies, and 70 free pizza slice coupons. And thank you to Mr. DiDonato for organizing this event, and a special thank you to Antonino's for supporting our students. Angelo Lucier, a grade 11 student at Sandwich Secondary School, has received the Town of LaSalle's 2026 Youth Leadership Award. Angelo has been recognized for his strong academic achievement, demonstrated student leadership, and ongoing commitment to volunteerism. Notably, he was the founder of the Orange Bracelet Campaign locally, an initiative that supports Indigenous youth programs and promotes awareness and community engagement. On April the 13th, 2026, Minister Calandra introduced the Putting Student Achievement First Act. The Act puts forth some significant changes to school board governance, structures, and responsibilities, as well as measures regarding capital projects, communications, learning resources, assessment, and bargaining. Currently, the Act is moving through the legislative process and will continue to share details with you as the process moves forward. And the recipients of the 2025-26 Outstanding Service and Champion for Education Awards will be celebrated along employees who have dedicated 30 years of service to the Greater Essex County District School Board on May 14th at Westview Freedom Academy. And the doors open at 5:45, and the program will begin at 6:30. And we encourage all trustees that are available to please attend. The school year calendar is posted on the website for next school year, and then some upcoming significant dates. This Friday is a secondary PD day, and then on April 29th will be secondary school parent-teacher interviews. May 4th to the 8th is Staff Appreciation Week, and then May 18th we will be off for Victoria Day. Happy to take any questions.
Lots of good things happening. Okay, I'm going to go this way. Okay. Student Trustee Rivington.
First, I just want to congratulate again Student Trustee Foster for all of his achievements. Very well deserved. And then I also just want to say, as a graduate of Sandwich West Public School, I want to appreciate their commitment to promoting the arts and music. I know that Madam Campbell and everyone else involved they're all big reasons why I and other students have been able to go and attend WCCA programs.
Yes, lots of students from Sandwich West Public support our WCCA program over the years. If you haven't yet been to a Sandwich West play, I would encourage you to go.
Trustee Chin, your question?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And it's a good report. My question is that you mentioned that the provincial government has labeled the Act 101, Putting Student Achievement First Act. And I'm wondering, we are doing the multi-year budget plan, and should we adjust something according to this requirement from the provincial government as put student achievement first? Because we just have limited budget, and we are cutting teachers, and we don't have money to waste on a lot of other political issues. And in the act, it politically said that don't waste money on those kind of political issues. So I wonder if we are going to adjust our strategic plan based on that. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. So first of all, I'm offended at the word waste. I don't think any one of us in this room waste money on anything. Do we spend money? Yes, we do. That's given to us from the government. I don't think we spend money on political issues. And the report simply was to say that the act is moving through the legislative process to make the trustees as well as the community aware that that's what's happening right now. You brought up concerns at the Finance and Facility Services meeting, and at that time, through the chair, I shared with you that when the budget comes forward to trustees, you're more than welcome to provide your input about where expenses should be allocated. That's the time and the place for that, not in the director's report. So I'll remind you again, that's the time. And that the trustees approve the budget as of right now, not administration. I'm not going to continue on that topic.
Thank you. No other questions. Trustee McCauley, and then, okay. Student Trustee Foster.
This is more of a comment. I just want to say I did get in a bit of hot water with my family after that interview, so I'd just like to right a wrong really quick. Shout out to my sisters, and only my sisters, Samantha and Holly Foster, for their contributions getting me here. Thank you.
And we're glad that you clarified that for the record.
Well, thank you very much for the report. And I'm going to suggest that the NBA LA Clippers should reach out to our Kennedy Clippers to get some tips on how to win championships.
They may need
They
that.
could use the
I would
help.
agree with you. I think there's some hockey teams that might benefit from some too.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for your report. Always good to celebrate the work of our board. No staff reports. We're moving on to no new business. We're moving on to reports from our committees. And the first standing committee report is Policy and Bylaw Committee. We have some recommendations. Did you want to move them, Trustee Buckler? And move them all at once? Okay. And seconded by Trustee Cook. Are there any questions? Trustee McCauley?
Just one. So currently on our website, when you're on the home page and then you hit the drop down menu, then about GECDSB, and then you get to policies and regulations, and then you get the page of what's public. I'm just wondering if there's a plan to reorganize the website a little bit. Okay.
Yes, it's a little bit of an awkward time right now because of the way that everything is being categorized, but Rochelle and I are working on a new plan to organize it so it's more clear.
Then I'll call the questions. There was a question, Trustee Chin.
Oh, thank you, Madam Chair. My question is that seems we revoke a lot of policies and rules, and I'm wondering why we do that, and if there is anything in this topic happened, how are we going to handle it?
Trustee
without
Chin,
those.
what's your question on these recommendations that are on the floor?
I mean, on the floor, we rescind those policies, right?
Because they're operational procedures. The board already agreed to do that.
Oh, my question is that why we rescind so many policies, and for what reason, and how?
Because the board of trustees already approved the process of moving from policies to operational procedures, and so now administration and the committee are working one by one to go through the policies to put them in the right place. This was a board decision, and this is now working through the board decision.
Okay. For example, my question is that.
So, for example, your question has to be specific to one of these items.
Okay. My question is regarding the gender identity and expression that rescind that policy. And for example, if a kid wants to change his name and gender.
No. There is no policy for you to ask a question about. This is being reclassified to an operational procedure, and that comes under the direction of the director.
I mean, do they still, follow this kind of instructions, or totally, occasionally decided by the, principals or teachers? I'm asking if we have any guidance, since we already, removed all these policies and rules. How are we going to process it?
Point of order.
Ma'am. Never mind. I was getting there.
Thank you.
Trustee Chin, again, I'm going to try to explain to you. Your question can only be relevant to what we're being asked to do on the agenda. Nothing outside of that. So, the committee has recommended that the former policy be rescinded and reclassified as an operational procedure. That's the extent of the discussion tonight. That's it. So, I'm going to call the question. All those in support of the recommendations? That's carried. Thank you. On to Finance and Facility Services Committee. We have a report. Are there any questions on that report? Seeing none. Oh, McCowie?
Not a question, but I want to have two quick comments, if that's okay. The first one is I wanted to thank Superintendent Armstrong, Mr. Mayhew, the director, Ms. Melosh, and everybody that's been part of the budget consultation process and budget creation process, because it's not an easy undertaking, and I know how much work that is. So thank you for everything you've been doing for the committee. And the second one is this is an appeal to the public, but we do have a budget consultation meeting on May 12th. And it would mean a lot if members of the public did sign up to be delegations, which they can do through our website. I don't believe we had any at our last meeting, but it's really important that the public's engaged with the process and trustees. So please attend the meeting if you can. And if you can't, you can always submit via email to budget@publicboard.ca.
Thank you. Trustees can also always attend electronically, but just as like a member of the public, right? And I just want to let you know that at the committee meeting, we also highlighted the budget consultation invitation for the public. So, okay, thank you. Question on the report?
Oh yes, thank you. And on the budget, we canceled the public budget consultation survey, and we still want public input. And our method is for the committee meeting, and two opportunities for people to join. And the first one, nobody show up, and the second one, I'm not sure. If there is nobody, send come and express their concerns, how can we get the public concerns regarding the budget?
Okay, so Trustee Chin, that's not a question for this report. if you want to discuss that at the finance committee, if no one shows up, maybe you can discuss it there. But
I was not allowed to discuss there. I was suppressed at any meeting, and it's just a simple question, and it seems not to work. And the public consultation is important.
There's nothing in this report that speaks to your question. So, if you want to discuss how many people sign up to delegate or not at the May 12th meeting, that would be appropriate at the committee meeting. Thank you.
The content is here, and I'm okay to ask questions. And this
you were at the committee meeting,
and
you
yeah, even I'm in a committee meeting, my voice is suppressed. To be honest.
No, and I'm taking exception to that as well. Again, you're being disrespectful to the members of the committee.
Oh, I'm not disrespectful.
No, you are. You are continually being disrespectful tonight, and you're.
I'm just want to help the board. I don't want a bias from the board.
Your questions are not appropriate, and
you need
that behavior keeps being repeated because you refuse to accept the protocols of our meetings, and you try to impose upon us your impression of how the meeting should be conducted. We have an approved agenda. It doesn't, just because there's a report from this committee, it doesn't mean that it opens up discussion on any topic that you want to talk about. It's specifically a report showing the highlights from that committee meeting that you attended. So if there's something incorrect in this report, you could ask about that. We talked about the opportunities for public consultation. That's reported in this report. The chair of the committee just emphasized that. I know that I spoke to it at the committee meeting too to make sure the public was aware. So I don't see that your questions are targeting the report itself. And you've been doing that continually all night long.
Respectively, if I see anything, I see anything wrong or any problem, I think it's my duty to point it out. But
it's your duty to follow the protocols. It's your duty to follow the protocols. Trustee McCowie has something. Question?
Just a quick comment. As the chair of the committee in question, I just want to be very clear that I don't appreciate the insinuation that anybody's voice is suppressed at the committee meetings. The same expectations of decorum and rules of order apply at any committee meeting as they do in this room. And I'll say to every trustee that if you are all welcome to attend Finance and Facilities Committee, and I would be more than happy to hear you, and you're more than welcome to speak at the meeting as long as it's relevant to what's on the agenda. And I made that very clear in every committee meeting that we've had, but I will not sit here and be told that I've silenced the voice of any of my colleagues, because that's not accurate. And I'm not going to get into a back and forth. It's just a comment, and I would ask that we move on from this report.
To clarify, you didn't attend last meeting.
Trustee Chen,
you didn't attend last meeting.
Trustee Chen, I didn't ask for a response.
I have a point for clarification, a point of order, a point for information.
Trustee Burgess.
I didn't attend the meeting in person. I know there was an audio recording of it. I listened to the audio recording. I'm looking at the minutes. I know that at any time, procedurally, if anybody is called out of order, they have an opportunity to appeal that call. And that's always in order if they want to appeal. That appeal didn't happen successfully in any way. So procedurally, when you're out of order, you are not silenced, you are out of order. If an appeal is reversed, because of the will of the assembly there who has the votes, then the appeal is reversed. No one is silenced. So I just want to say, not being there, listening objectively, looking at the minutes, I find it also really troublesome that people are saying they're being silenced. They were called out of order without appeal.
Thank you, Trustee Burgess. That goes to my point about our protocols. Thank you. Trustee McKinley?
Yeah, just a quick note, because I heard the trustee say that Trustee McCauley was not at the meeting, but the meeting minutes that we are looking at were for February, and he is listed as having been present. Just for clarification. Yeah. Yeah.
To clarification, I'm mentioning April 14. Yeah,
So-
this quarter. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
So if you look at the
My turn now?
No, I'm talking to Trustee McKinley. I'm answering her point. If you look at the report, it's from the meeting of April 14th. And Trustee McCauley sent regrets. Then there's an attachment with the approved minutes from February. The attendance was different in February. Does that help you? Pardon?
I was only seeing the February, not the April.
We don't have the minutes, they're not approved
Right.
yet.
Right.
So that's why you only
I got it.
that's why you only get the highlights.
I got it.
Yeah.
I did listen to that meeting in April.
Yeah.
This month.
Thank you. Okay. Learning, Equity, and Wellbeing Committee, are there any questions of that report? Nope, seeing none, I'm going to move on. Nothing from audit. There's approved minutes from SEAC. Are there any questions on that? No. No. Okay. GECPIC. We have no advisory committees or ad hoc committees at this time, but we do have a report from our OPSPA delegate.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wish that it was a more upbeat report, but it's a little somber. And I'm sure you guys have all been keeping up with what's been in the media, so most of this should be no surprise to anyone. But I'm just here to provide some updates on behalf of OPSPA. So earlier today, I attended an OPSPA provincial update meeting alongside Chair Hatfield, with board chairs and delegates, along with OPSPA's leadership team. This was the second meeting that they held. The first one was actually the Tuesday immediately following the minister's announcement on Bill 101, Putting Student Achievement First Act. Bill 101 represents a significant shift in school board governance across Ontario. The role of trustees will be preserved through this legislation, but it proposes to substantially narrow the scope of our role. It's important to recognize that when this whole ordeal began, the minister was pretty adamant and firm on moving forward with the elimination of trustees. And as many trustees have noted with their discussions with their local MPPs across the province, that was widely seen as somewhat of a guaranteed outcome. I know a lot of you and those at OPSPA were questioning whether or not we'd even be on the ballot in October. But this approach was ultimately abandoned, and I'd cite two key reasons for that. The first one is that I don't think that the governing government anticipated the amount of pushback, lobbying, and advocacy and outreach by stakeholders, and especially by small rural communities that joined trustees and submitted letters of support to the ministry. The second one is one that I don't think enough people are talking about, but I think a primary reason this was abandoned was due to the constitutional concerns and system inconsistencies across Ontario's four-school system, which forced a pivot in the minister's strategy here. As a result, the new proposed legislation, and I'm saying proposed because contrary to what everybody thought, it went to committee, but the new proposed legislation takes what I'd categorize as a Plan B approach. It retains trustees in name, but it redistributes much of our authority. OPSPA has emphasized that local voice has been preserved, but local choice has been weakened. From the ministry's perspective, the legislation is intended to strengthen governance, accountability, and consistency across the system. However, the practical effect is a centralization of authority at the provincial level. As you're all likely aware, this bill currently sits at second reading, and it's been referred to the Standing Committee on Social Policy, where the committee structure matches that of the current assembly, so the majority Conservative government also has a majority on the committee. The deadline for written submissions is April 27th by 6 p.m. if anyone's interested, and that includes anybody in the public. I will note that It was a bit of a surprise that the bill went to committee, especially the fact that they have a majority government, and it didn't immediately pass. OPSPA does plan on making a formal submission on this. In terms of changes being proposed, I'll begin with the Director of Education, who will formally, if passed, become the Chief Executive Officer, the CEO of the system. There's also an option to now hire or appoint a Chief Education Officer who is solely focused on student achievement, while the CEO drives the budgeting process. There's an expectation that future regulations will likely introduce additional qualification requirements for directors with an emphasis on financial and business expertise. But it should be noted the clarification we've received now is that current directors will be those that assume the CEO role, regardless of any future regulation adding more requirements. Overall, the role of trustees in hiring of the director, and especially in the context of the director's performance appraisal process, remains unclear, and it will likely be reduced, representing a fundamental shift in governance authority. In terms of the role of trustees and accountability, we can expect limits, reductions, and/or eliminations in the areas of trustee honoraria, which are now capped at $10,000 with the bonus for board chairs, discretionary expenses, including mileage reimbursements for non-rural and remote boards, and membership fees and conference participation, noting that boards won't be able to expense non-essential conferences and or pay external organization membership fees, and there will likely be an effect not only on OPSPA but also OSTA. Essentially, the role of trustees has been narrowed to community advocacy, but OPSPA would note that many details remain unclear, especially regarding expense eligibility and trustee authority in governance decisions. From OPSPA's perspective, there will be a big shift in terms of central bargaining. Bill 101 completely removes OPSPA as a central bargaining agent, and that authority has now been transitioned to CODE, the Council of Ontario Directors of Education. There's also an impact on OPSPA's budget. If our member boards aren't paying their membership fee, there is no money. There's also risk that individual member boards will begin losing shared service benefits, the biggest one being the Savings Through the School Energy Coalition, copyright, policy resources, and professional development. OPSPA plans to take on a strategic and measured approach as we navigate the development of this implementation. In terms of timelines, because this did come up this morning, the majority of the provisions laid out in Bill 101 would take effect immediately upon royal assent, but some provisions would be expected to roll out until a later date. The bill also lays out some other changes to Ontario's education system and curriculum, specifically the addition of attendance requirements for students. It's important to take note that this new requirement as part of a student's final grade doesn't reflect real-world factors that impact attendance, the root cause of increasing absenteeism, and it doesn't target the actual issue in a strategic and meaningful manner that promotes student well-being and success. OPSPA will continue advocating for trustees, families, and students across the province as a public school boards association focused on and committed to supporting student achievement and empowering success. And as a final send-off, it's important to be clear. The minister initially set out to eliminate publicly elected trustees altogether, a role that millions of students, families, educators, and communities across Ontario rely on to bring local voice into public education governance. While constitutional constraints prevented that outcome, Bill 101 represents a significant step toward centralizing authority and diminishing the traditional role of trustees. Trustees remain the oldest form of locally elected representation in our democratic systems, and their role continues to be essential in ensuring that decisions reflect the needs of students and communities. OPSPA has undertaken strong advocacy to date and will continue to do so as further details emerge. I want to reiterate to trustees that you will continue to play a vital role in ensuring that public education remains responsive to the needs of students, families, and neighborhoods. As the OPSPA delegate, I'll continue to monitor the developments closely and keep the board informed on any additional information that becomes available. And if there's any questions, I'm happy to take them.
Student trustee Rivington, then trustee Burgess.
Thank you. What classifies an external organization as essential, and has that been specifically clarified?
I don't know if we want to get into those type of questions because we don't have any of the specifics on anything. So it's just conjecture. And And I sent trustees an email from the meeting we had last week. Trustee McCowie had an exam, and we don't have specifics. There's a lot of it will probably go this way, it will probably go that way, and OPSPA is trying to be very cautious because, as they've told us last week and this week, they have a target on their back. They have very little leverage left in dealing with the government, with our concerns, and they're facing elimination. So they have to be very careful in their next steps. So they don't have the answers, and we don't have the answers. So, and I understand the question, because we all have a million of those questions, but we just don't have answers. Yeah. Burgess?
Thanks, Madam Chair. I appreciate your answer, but I would like to make the observation that every single board under supervision has been instructed through the supervisors to not pay any provincial associations. So the precedent right now with all boards under supervision is that it has undermined all funding for provincial trustee associations like OPSPA, like the Catholic Trustees Association, like whatever. So that's there. That should be recognized. That's a trend. I just want to say one thing, and it's a question. I don't have the answer, and I don't know if you would have the answer, but just to understand from the OPSPA director's perspective, when we talk about the not having any fees go to external organizations, when something becomes centralized at the provincial level, if we don't have provincial advocacy, then those provincial things get cut up and it's board by board. And for a board to go up against the Ontario Energy Board, for example, the OEB, and say, oh, I think your new rate of charging us for our gas or electricity or whatever is a ridiculously expensive thing to get intervener status. So something like our OPSPA fees that we pay now, and without exception, at any meeting I've ever been to at OPSPA, our OPSPA fees are less than the savings that we make with intervener status at the Energy Board, the Energy Coalition. Just for an example, arguing for copyright tariff, again, a federal issue that you must lobby at a high level in Ottawa. If we don't get that with Access Canada, then our board would not be able to afford the legal fees in order to recoup whatever tariff that we can arrange. It has to be something like a provincial organization. So I know that, most of the folks that elect us don't kind of look at that and say, oh, well, what are you going to do for copyright? What are you going to do for the utilities? What we do is we try to keep the costs of running our local schools reasonable so that the money that we get through taxpayer support can be best used and we get the best deal. We can't do that individually. So this is a big loss. And so even undermining the supervised boards to not ante up that amount, that undermines that provincial advocacy for intervener status. And that's prudently unwise. That will cost the province money.
So chairs are aware of that. It was discussed today. Chairs are aware of it.
Through you,
OPSPA's
Madam
aware
Chair,
of
that
it.
was really for Malachy.
Okay.
He knew the amount or whatever, but it was for public and
Okay.
through Malachy.
But the minister holds all the cards on this, and OPSPA will try carefully and delicately to make the case that there are collective savings through this organization that are benefiting boards. But we can't guarantee that anybody's on the receiving end of that message is going to pay attention. But we're certainly aware of it. Yep. Trustee McKinley?
Thank you. Just wondering regarding, I know recently, maybe last month, we sent off the paperwork for the municipality regarding the trustee distribution. I get the feeling from what I read that could change for all the boards. Do we know how many what that will look like and when?
Trustee McCowie, and then I'll add to it.
Thank you, Trustee McKinley, for the question. So, as part of Bill 101, there was a provision under strengthening governance and accountability that they would reduce the maximum number of trustees from 22 to 12. The only board that's affected by that is the Toronto District School Board, and they are working with their municipality on the redistricting of their trustee boundaries for their election. My understanding, Greater Essex is unaffected. We've already submitted, and we're good to go.
So on that, I could just say that there is some speculation that it's too late for the government to implement any decrease in the number of trustees below 12 because the nomination period opens May 1st, and it would throw every municipality into chaos. But that's not to say that it couldn't happen next year. That they couldn't, once they sort out the role of trustees and once they sort out the role of the, what's that office called? The new, for parents.
Oh, student family support.
The student family support offices, and they get them up after the election, they may find that then they can reduce the number of trustees when it's not an election year. So it's not guaranteed. I would not take it as a guarantee that for 4 years it's going to remain the same. But going into this calendar year, it's only Toronto that's being affected.
So will potential candidates be made aware of that possibility? Hopefully they're watching the show and they're watching our meeting.
We all got ourselves elected almost 4 years ago not knowing any of this was going to happen. But there's a lot of conjecture out there. There's a lot of unknowns. A lot of people are looking at different scenarios once it all comes out. But a lot of it depends on what those regulations are going to be moving forward. Trustee Cook, then Trustee Burgess.
I was just going to say, they don't have to say anything to anybody about maybes. You know, I mean, anybody who's thinking of running for anything this municipal election, pay attention. So.
Trustee Burgess.
Thanks, Madam Chair. Again, I'm just going to cite an already done precedent. So in 2018, after nominations were open, candidates were running in a particular series of wards. Ma'am, through you, you're in 5, 6, 7, 8 in Windsor, and had prepared election stuff, had started their campaigns, and in the middle of 2018, forming a new government, they actually changed all the boundaries and everything. So right in the middle of the election campaign, the government decided to change everything, causing great havoc on ballots, campaigns, all of that stuff. So it's been done before during the campaign.
Yes, it has. It's been done before. It was done in one municipality. And I think that's the only saving grace right now, is not creating havoc across the whole province. But I'm not feeling confident that that's going to remain the case for 4 years after. But who knows? I'm just guessing. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the report. We have nothing under QR. Do we have any announcements for this meeting? Trustee McKinley?
Yes, I'm very excited for Education Week. I'll be going to Glenwood to see Matilda, and I'll be going to Marlborough to spend some time for their arts evening, which I've attended for several years in a row, and always a delight to visit the schools. So that's what's coming up. Thanks.
Yes, student trustee?
I'd like to announce an initiative from one of our students at EDHS. Lauren Smith is organizing the Essex Fun Fest 5K. All the proceeds go to the Essex Food Bank. If you're interested in running, sign up on race roster.
Thank you. Any other announcements? Trustee Burgess?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to try to read this very small font. I didn't print it. I just wanted to say that the Southwestern Ontario District of Optimist International had a local student winning the Optimist District essay contest. It was the grade 12 student Lauren Smith at Essex District High School recently won the Southwestern Ontario District Optimist Essay Contest based on a theme of how my acts of service help me understand what my community means to me. She was awarded $2,500 scholarship for the honor, and the essay will be featured in Optimist International's Optimist magazine. It's a high honor. It was a great essay, and I just want to say there's a lot of competition. So congratulations, Lauren.
Student trustee Rivington. Then.
Just want to highlight that was Lauren Smith's third shout out this meeting. She was also our Senator of the Month. So congrats, Lauren, on everything.
Trustee McCowie, you wanted to add?
I forgot to put this in my OPSPA report, but to any of our graduating students, the OPSPA and AMO Healthy Democracy Student Leadership Award applications are open until May 25th at 11:59, and the selection is based on commitment to civic engagement and the importance of local governments, diversity of leadership, and community involvement. Be sure to apply at opspa.org.
Thank you for that. Okay, well, we've reached the end of our approved agenda, so I want to thank everybody for their time this evening, and I'll declare the meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.